Hey friend, if you're new to crafting or you've thought about turning your hobby into a business, then this video is for you. Today I'm going to share the three biggest mistakes that I made when I first started my craft business. Now, these mistakes might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but honestly, that's because you're probably doing them. I'm not trying to come at you, I'm just saying it is highly possible that you're making at least one of these mistakes right now. This right here, this is a no shame zone. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, my first mistake was I didn't price my work properly. And yes, I got to take a deep breath because I think back and I'm like, if I had priced my work differently, do you know how much money I would have in the bank? So, I was literally charging next to nothing for some of the things that I created. It cost me $5 in material, and I'm just like, oh, give me like $8. So that means I made a couple dollars. Really, I was literally charging less than what it cost to get a value meal at a restaurant. And I thought to myself, if I price low, then maybe more people would be likely to buy the thing. And guess what? They did. But when I added it all together, I did not even break even. In a lot of instances, I lost money. And talk about paying myself, that definitely was not a thing. I could not pay myself for the time and the effort that I put in. I also didn't factor in labor, overhead, and profit margin. I didn't even know what that was. So now, today, I use a formula, and that is the cost of goods plus my labor plus the overhead plus a profit margin. And I typically aim for somewhere between 40-50% for that profit margin. When I first started, sometimes it was 30 depending on the product, but never go lower than 30%. Reason for this is that I am not a volunteer, right? Crafting is fun and it's something that I really enjoy doing, but it's work. There's supplies, there's money that I have to put out, and so I need some type of return on my investment, y'all. And my work is good. It deserves to be valued. Period. So, mistake number two, this was me playing the comparison game. One of my favorite authors is Brene Brown, and she always talks about comparison being the thief of joy. And I just find that to be so, so true. So, when I first started doing craft fairs and selling my work, a lot of times I would look at other people who were selling comparable things and I would compare what I was doing to what they were doing. I would literally sit at the table like, wow, look at all of those people at their booth. What am I doing wrong that those people are not at my booth? So here's the deal. I was comparing my year one to someone else's year 10. I would look at their booth and I would see all of the beautiful things and like, why am I not there? And that is discouraging. But at the same time, what you really have to think about is you're new. I was new. Year one, I was new. I was literally working in my apartment. I was a residence hall director at SUNY Cortland, and I was working in my apartment with basic supplies. I had a desk that I had a 3 drawer plastic bin on that had my supplies. I was just getting started, right? I had to go through a growth period. I really did. And over those years, I became more experienced. I got bigger and better craft supplies to help me. I learned about packaging. I learned about labeling. I learned about pricing. I learned all of these things. And so now, if I do a table, it looks 10 times better than it did when I first started. And so all I'm saying is that we need the years of trial and error. We need that messy growth period. And during that time, you don't have to be perfect, and we don't need to compare ourselves to somebody else. Just let ourselves be the beginner, let ourselves learn and grow and go through that process. we have no idea what that other person went through. We don't know what their story is. We don't know what their experience is. And so, because of that, why should we compare ourselves to them? They're not us, and they don't have the same story as us. So, mistake number 3 that I made was letting other people decide that I should have a business. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't want a business. I'm not saying that it I wouldn't have eventually evolved and gotten to that point. However, my reasons for starting and how I got started, I feel like was based off of pressure from other people. So I started selling my crafts because people told me that I should. They were like, "Ooh, you should totally sell this." And it made me feel all good inside. And I was like, "I should? Oh my goodness. Okay." Y'all see my face? I said, "Okay." I had zero plan, zero idea of what I was getting myself into. I did not stop to ask myself, are you ready to run a business? Do you want to run a business? Are you ready for customers, packaging, pricing, all the back end stuff that you need to do? Do you know anything about websites? And do you know any of this stuff? And the answer boiled down to a big nope. But I jumped in and it got overwhelming. It did because I went out and bought a bunch of supplies. I made a whole bunch of stuff and it wasn't selling because that one person said I should sell it. It wasn't selling the way that in my mind it was going to sell based off of the conversation that I had with that one person. So here's what I've learned. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you have to monetize it, or maybe not yet. Not until you're ready and you've got a good foundation. So don't let outside hype, don't let outside people push you to the point where you either end up burnt out or you no longer enjoy creating what you were loving, right? Sell when you are ready and when you're ready to build something sustainable. So I 100% recommend learn a little bit about business, create a business plan, understand what it is to have a startup budget. So actually sit down and say, these are the things that I'm going to start up. People ask me today, how much money have I invested in my business over the years? And I cannot answer that question because I did not have a strong foundation when I started, and I just don't want that for you. I want you to be better. All right, y'all. So those were my 3 mistakes. And if you've made any of those mistakes, then welcome to the club, friend. Yes. I would love it if you would drop a comment below this video and tell me a little bit about your thoughts, your mistakes, whatever you want to share. Because we are definitely in this together. Y'all hear me? Together. We got rhinestones, we got receipts, we got craft stories, we got all of the things for, oh my goodness, the craft show fairs. We all know what that person that comes to your table and they're looking at your stuff and they're like, oh, you make all of this? Oh, it's really nice. Or the person that comes to your table and they're just looking and you're like, I know they're going to go home and try to make something based off of what they see on my table. We all have these experiences. So, at any rate, now that we know better, as Maya says, we need to do better, right? So, let's go ahead. If you're just getting started, let's take a step back and make sure that we're building a business that works for us, that's built on a strong foundation. And if we did not do that, then you'll be like me and you'll be taking steps back to say, hold on, before we get any further ahead, let's go back and start building a more stable foundation so that as we go forward, our business will be stronger. So feel free to hit the subscribe button because we're definitely going to be dropping more content to help handmade businesses. We would love to see handmade businesses achieve their goals, grow, and thrive. Together, we are building businesses that work for us and not against us. So you got this. We got your back. Stay crafty.